Hey, kids, you're listening to a couple of annoyed grump boys, and this is the 138th Simpsons podcast.
Teacher said don't eat the paste, is apt to make you spew. I ate the paste and liked the taste, passed out and dreamed of you.
That's right, we're the Simpsons podcast that discusses the beloved animated sitcom from seasons 11 and beyond, and the newest ones when they are available. That beloved animated sitcom, of course, is The Simpsons. That's what I'm referring to. Why do we do it this way? Well, there's plenty of other Simpsons podcasts out there have discussed the golden age, that being seasons 1 through 10. So we're tasked to find if any episodes from the latter seasons and obviously the newer seasons, if they can match those golden age episodes. But I don't do this alone. I'm just one annoyed grunt boy named Craig. With me, as always, is our other annoyed grunt boy,
Steve. Hello, Craig.
Hey, Steve. I'm going to do something weird in this intro, and we're going to talk about the subject of this episode before we talk about the episode. And that, of course, is Homer becomes a barber.
Mm-hmm.
And the storytelling of a hairstylist barber is in a lot of movies, TV shows, and there might be some famous barbers out there. Can you think of, except for, what's the guy's name from Welcome Back, Kotter? Vinnie Barberini?
The Barbarino?
Yeah. Was he a barber or just a 35-year-old high school student?
Yeah, I think he was a sweat hog, whatever that is.
Oh. I mean, that's usually my nether regions in the summertime.
Mm-hmm. It's like pulling taffy.
So, Steve. All right, Steve, we'll talk about that later. But before we talk about pulling taffy, was there any, can you think, if you're at the top of your head, barbers or hairstyle movies? In this movie, of course, this episode is called Homer Scissorhands. Edward Scissorhands famously cuts people's hairs in that movie and makes topiaries, I believe. Skin. We said it last week. We haven't seen the movie.
Yeah, I'm thinking about, of course, we're talking about The Simpsons. One famous barber, which I don't think has a name, is the old barber from 22 short films about Springfield, in which Lisa gets her haircut stylish after she gets the gum in it. You know, he's a sweet old man. So there's one. Another cartoon that we talked about recently on our Patreon, King of the Hill, features one Bill Dotry, who was an Air Force or Army barber, and he continued his job. Army, that's what I thought. So there's a couple.
Yeah, TV show-wise, you said The Simpsons. No, but wasn't that barber also like Homer's, childhood barber, too?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So I always think of an episode of Quantum Leap because that's usually what I do. Either think about The Simpsons or Quantum Leap or Star Trek, because there's also a famous barber on the Enterprise, Next Generation, Mott,
Mm-hmm.
who is a alien, a bully, in which they're blue-skinned, bald people with little ridges down their face. So it's funny that there's a bald alien that's a barber, but also it's funny that Captain Picard goes to get his hair cut.
That is weird.
And so I think also Mott, I imagine on the spare time, makes applesauce. Mott's applesauce. But when I was saying about Quantum Leap, I just remember this episode, which I believe I've talked about on this podcast before. It's where he quantum leaps into a stylish, Beverly Hills barber, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt is in that episode. And Quantum Leap always liked to be inspired by popular films of the time. So I'm trying to think, what was that movie based off of? And loosely, I think it's kind of based off of the movie Shampoo, which, spoilers, they bring up in this episode, which I've never seen Shampoo.
Me neither.
And it's got Warren Beatty in this episode, Dick Tracy himself. Has Warren Beatty ever done a voice on The Simpsons?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, it's the movie plot is on election day 1968, irresponsible hairdresser and ladies man George Roundy is too busy cutting hair and dealing with his girlfriends and mistresses Felicia Karp, whose husband Lester is having an affair with his ex-girlfriend Jackie. So I guess the connection kind of Quantum Leap is it's a Beverly Hills dresser, but I don't think it wasn't about infidelity in that movie or episode. But yeah, I've never seen a Shampoo. Is it rated well? Is it a popular film? Goldie Hawn is in it.
I think it probably does well. I think it was a double header with the conditioner.
I haven't seen that one either. You usually have to watch it after you watch Shampoo, right?
It's a letter film. It smells
Do you
good.
think the movie was written by Robert Towne and Warren Beatty and directed by Hal Ashby? So, those are well-known names in Hollywood at the time. Released in 75. And wow, I'm just looking at Warren Beatty in this movie, his hair and his outfits. I think this is something I probably would watch. It's a Craig hasn't seen, so I would maybe watch this movie to see how funny it is. Very 70s looking. I know it takes place in the 60s, but time period movies.
Yeah, very much.
And who doesn't love a Goldie Hawn, right?
Love a Goldie Hawn.
I'm just watching like images of the trailer on IMDb. There's Carrie Fisher.
Oh.
This is pre-Princess Leia Carrie Fisher.
Wow.
It looks like a very sexy movie, Steve. That's what I got to say.
It does look very, yeah.
I know it's called Hair, so I'm like, I imagine he's probably got to do a lot of stylish hair down there. Pubes were popular in the 70s, and pubes are coming back. The Gen Zers are accepting them.
Making a comeback. It was Bush Summer, aside from being Bart Summer.
Look, my favorite Bush summer, of course, was the summers from 2000 to 2008.
I like the early 90s when that Bush vomited on the Japanese prime minister, yeah.
Again, not a political Bush podcast. A lot of movies, there's Hairsprays and barbershop movies. Beauty Shop. I think it's Sweeney Todd. Yeah, another Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp loves hair, doesn't he? He always has like good hair in movies, right?
He does, but it's funny because I don't imagine his hair being particularly clean.
Yeah, he's rumored to be a very smelly man, right? He's not one that showers.
That's what I've heard, yes.
And is it he who leaves poops in beds, or was it his ex, Amber Heard? It was Amber Heard, right?
I think so. I don't really know the whole messy details of that story.
Oh, yeah, you don't mess with the Zohan, the Adam Sandler. I never saw that movie. Again, we're not Adam Sandler fans on this podcast. But if he wants to come on this podcast and talk about McDonald's, we will.
Sure, of course. It'll be her final episode.
Yes. Is it offensive to people like you, Steve, when we talk about hair?
I just wish there was more bald representation. I do appreciate, Homer in this episode, Bill Dotrey, and Mott all being bald hairstylists. Like, I think that's a positive thing, but I would like to see more bald movies.
Do you think that's a selling point for you now to do a Star Trek The Next Generation rewatch podcast because of Captain Picard?
Maybe that's it, yeah.
We have short kings and we have bald kings, and Patrick is definitely a bald king, along with, let's say...
Well, you don't want a bald lose, so I go with Alec, because he's a bald win.
All right, Steve. Let us know, not you, our listeners, let us know any hairstyling movies that you guys like, or TV shows, or famous barbers. One of my favorite episodes of Taxi actually is an episode where we are introduced into a young character actor at the time, played by Ted Danson, who plays a homosexual hairstylist. And because of that role, he got the gig on, one of the reasons he got the role of Sam Malone on Cheers.
Who iconically had very famous hair.
And Steve is a bald king.
That's right.
He wears a toupee, and he's proud about. So maybe you don't respect him because he wears a rug.
I mean, you gotta own what you like, but Ted, he's great.
What about Shatner, speaking of Star Trek?
Oh, yeah, another bald king.
But won't admit it. But who did admit it was that famous Barbarino. Finally, he came out a few years ago as a bald man.
But the one barber that we all love, of course, is Andrea Barber. That's right, Kimmy Gibbler from this show's favorite show, Full House.
Do we talk more about Full House than any other shows on this podcast?
I mean, I feel like we do, yeah.
Yeah, we haven't dropped like an office ladies joke in a while. I think it's because we felt bad because Jenna Fisher was diagnosed with cancer. We felt bad.
Yeah, we don't want to. Yeah, we wish her the best.
And we'll get to our paper podcast eventually. Don't worry. We'll get there. We will be let me think here. We're the Annoyed Grump Boys, and it's called The Paper. If only there was like a famous video game that had something similar to that title. Or a job.
Yeah, Doom.
All right, we'll be the Doom podcast.
All right.
About The Paper.
The Doom Boys.
All right, Steve, let's just get on with it. This week, we're going back in time all the way to the year 2011. Steve, specifically May 8th, 2011. We've been holding it off for past couple weeks, maybe in a month, it feels like. We've talked about one Marvel movie, but I think it's time we go on our Patreon and talk about another Marvel movie. I'm going to have to subject you to it. What was the number one movie for May 8th of that weekend, 2011?
Why, I was sure in pain because it was Thor.
That's right. The very first Thor movie, we will be talking about it this Friday on our Patreon exclusive episode, patreon.com/annoyedgruntboys. And Steve, I'm very excited for you to watch Thor. I know a lot of people, it's not like on their list of top movies. I won't say how I feel about it. I have an opinion on it, of course. But you will get to see the really stupid decision of bleaching Chris Hemsworth's eyebrows blonde. Why did they do that? I don't know.
Fascinating. Here's what I'll say. I don't know the movie, but I think the character of Thor in the Marvel world is interesting. I enjoyed Adventures in Babysitting. I enjoyed God of War Ragnarok. I like pointy hats, so, maybe I'll like it.
I mean, if you like it, it's good. But a lot of Marvel fans don't like it, so I wouldn't go around saying you liked it out loud. I'd be a little low-key if I were you.
Fair enough, yes.
You know what's great about Thor is, like, it's about Norse gods, and they're not really from Earth. They're extraterrestrial. They're aliens, Steve. So think of it that way. Think of this as the new Alien, and not that other Spielberg movie I thought of. That Spielberg movie I thought of. Sorry.
Interesting, yeah. And this is kind of more Norse mythology, something that we don't here in the West get to really experience. Of course, yeah.
Steve, what was the worst song on the Hot Billboard for that week?
Why, it was E.T. by Katy Perry featuring Kanye West.
Katy Perry, has sang with a lot of musicians, and famously she sang a song, "I Kissed a Girl," and I liked it. Do you think Snoop Dogg knew about that song before he agreed to sing California Girls with her? Because, how would he explain "I Kissed a Girl," Katy Perry song, to his grandchildren?
Yeah, I mean, he would be very confused. He did it once with Jill Solbuel, and they canceled their duo, and then again it happened. I think he was probably a little perturbed.
I like how the internet called Snoop Dogg out of that, so he's kind of he's quiet about it, and someone asked Art Garfunkel what he thought, and you know what the hot rock alternative of that day was?
What was it, Craig?
It was "The Sound of Silence" by Disturbed. Now, I have a funny story. I might do a bit here with the next song. When I used to work in a warehouse, we shared it with another, it was a warehouse full of other businesses too. There was one guy, a forklift driver that wasn't for our company. He would just play that song on loop all the time. That Disturbed version of "Sound of Silence."
That had a grasp on some people for a really long time.
Yeah. I just, every day I would hear it over and over and over again. I'm just thinking, this guy probably needs help. He's just driving forklift, and he's carrying around 2-ton rolls of paper. Maybe we should not have him listen to the song. We should probably just help. But as you always say, it's life, Steve.
Yeah, you gotta experience it. You gotta do stuff.
Yeah,
because before you know it, they'll be gone, and then they'll be like, "Oh my God, they killed Kenny."
And Steve's favorite board game that he likes to play on his knees is chess.
That's right. Which brings us to our number one country song, "Live a Little" by Kenny Chesney.
All right, Steve, let's redo this bit all over again, Steve. Let's start from the top. What was the number one hot dance electric song?
Why, it was E.T. by Katy Perry featuring Kanye West, one of whom have been in space, and the other one should be in space.
Steve, let's just get on with this week's episode. Homer Scissorhands. It's season 22, episode 20. Homer suddenly becomes a hairstylist after he beautifully cuts Patty's hair. Meanwhile, in the B story, we have Milhouse, who falls in love with a fifth grader after Lisa rejects his romantic gesture. All right, Steve, we're going to watch it, come back, and discuss.
Sounds good.
But before that, I think we need to go get a haircut or two.
I'll get them all cut, because there's not that many.
All right, we'll be right back.
Lisa, maid so fair, with crimson dress and pointy hair. Do you mind if I stop and stare? Look in your mind and I'm there.
And we're back. Today we're talking about Homer Scissorhands. It's the 20th episode of the 22nd season. It's episode 484 in the show's run. Original air date May 8th, 2011. Your nerd code is NABF13. It was written by Peter Gaffney and Steve Viksten. Directed by Mark Kirkland. Showrunner, of course, Al Jean.
Peter Gaffney, American writer, editor, and producer. He worked on The Simpsons, but more knowingly worked for Rugrats and other Nickelodeon cartoons, especially for Caspi Cuspo. He worked on All Real Monsters, and in his early career, he wrote for Married with Children, Beavis and Butthead, and Daria. Aside from this episode, he wrote one more, contributing to Treehouse of Horror 17, Season 18, Episode 4, which was our 252nd episode, which we talked about in November of 2023. And Stephen Lee Viksten, also another Nickelodeon writer who worked on Hey Arnold, Rugrats, Recess, Duckman, and this one episode of The Simpsons, which sadly was his last writing credit before his sad passing.
Wow, so they're kind of doing this in the company family, like not the Simpsons household, but the Kolapski, blah, blah,
Mm-hmm.
blah.
Yeah, it's so hard
the
to
animation
say.
studio.
Yeah.
I always think it's weird that didn't Rugrats premiere the same year as Simpsons, like in '89?
Yeah.
And I just feel like Simpsons is still older.
It's very true, yeah. I don't like the Rugrats.
You don't, or
I do not.
like anymore?
I never did.
Sorry, 91,
Okay.
not 89. But very, very similar years.
But yeah, it does feel like Rugrats came out in like 94 or something.
Yeah. Well, so if it was 91, we were, let me do the math here. You were 10. I wasn't even born yet.
Right, of course.
I'm a Gen Zer.
Right. No cap.
I was born in 2091, so in fact, I'm a time traveler. I forget to tell everybody that. Yeah. I mean, I watched it, the Rugrats, when it was on Nickelodeon, because you had that block of Rugrats and Doug, Ren and Stimpy.
Mm-hmm. Rocco's Modern Life, which is my favorite.
Rocco's. I never got into All Real Monsters because, Steve, they're monsters. They're scary.
It is. It's right in the title. It's, ah!
Like, I still haven't seen Monsters, Inc. because of that reason.
Or the movie Monster.
But I will applaud Charlize Theron, of course, for not wearing makeup for a film.
A real woman dressed as a real woman.
But did she also gain a couple pounds, right?
Yeah, she had an extra bacon on her sandwich one day.
So yeah, this is our first and only episode, I'm assuming, with these authors.
It's true. Like I said, Peter Gaffney was in that one episode of Treehouse of Horror, but it's kind of hard to shine in a Treehouse of Horror because there's so many contributors to all 3 episodes of that episode. So yeah.
Well, I mean, all of the writers in the writers' room are contributors.
That's true.
So one-offs here. They're part of the One-Timers Club, I guess. Well, Steven is. Did you know Steven? I mean, I thought all people named Steven knew each other.
Yeah, me, Hawking, Spielberg, King. We all welcomed him to the club. We gave him the vest, and yeah.
Well, it's only the PH Stevens. Like, you don't know the V.
Those guys suck. Sorry, Jobs. Look where you are now.
He's in hell, of course. I'm going to say something before we record, and I don't think I've ever said this before, but I don't have an opinion of this episode yet. I've watched it a couple times. So I thought, hopefully by the end of our discussion, because there's some things about this episode that I enjoyed and some things that I feel a little off, but I think this is where I want to get into it with you. And
this is a fun journey because a lot of times I will go in having one opinion, but then after discussing with you, it'll alter. And I kind of had a similar experience where I watched this initially, maybe a little high, and I was like, this is very funny. And then I watched it again, and I was like, this is okay.
You didn't tell me you were on an airplane watching this. You were so high.
I know, I was way high, like Snoop Dogg in that movie about airplanes.
Oh, thank God there wasn't any gay people in this episode, because then you'd be so confused if you were Snoop Dogg having to explain gay people to your family.
When I saw Patty, I was a little confused. I was like, it's okay.
So this will be a fun journey we're going to take. Let's hold hands while we do this.
All right.
And here's one of the biggest issues I have. The whole title credits is probably half the episode.
This is true, yeah.
We get to go full on, even Maggie in the car, everything, the extended cut of title credits.
We get our episode proper at 2 minutes and 16 seconds.
I am done with sex by then.
Yeah, twice.
3 times a lady. So the title screen, Steve, it's just a simple Homer flying across the screen on a magic carpet ride, dressed in the style of Aladdin, and we had to cancel Homer for culture appropriation after that.
Very problematic. But then we get a billboard gag, which is Mrs. Muntz featuring in a revealing bathrobe with some lingerie. And it says, Mother's Day special, I'm half off.
Which half?
Left.
Oh. Are you thinking like split down the body and not split at the waist? Okay.
That way you get the boobs and the fun.
But then you got to deal with all them guts.
That's true.
Unless you get like Flex Seal, right? You just put it on. Okay. All right. So this is obviously a Mother's Day episode. God, I feel like we've had a lot of Mother's Day episodes on this podcast. Never Father's Day episodes because The Simpsons never airs in June.
And Homer's a crappy dad.
True. There is a chalkboard gag, and it says, I do not deserve a Mother's Day gift for being one badass mother. Now, so Bart is just saying that he's a badass mother. I mean, we know he was trying to mother those, like Chirpy and Bart Jr., what he thought were birds were actually lizards. That's not an episode we can review, though, right? Or did we review
We
that?
Cannot.
Okay. So I don't know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't know what you're talking about either. Birds, lizards, what?
I got bird blindness, so...
They all look alike to you.
Yeah, that's a reference to Peacemaker, Season 2, now on HBO Max. So he said that to Krabappel. And that doesn't seem like worthy of detention.
Yeah. I mean, he is kind of a badass mother.
Unless, are we in the years where Krabappel's dating Flanders?
Very possibly, yeah.
Like, she could have said, like, it's Mother's Day this weekend, and as a mother myself, I'm one bad mother. Like that, right? Like, she said it like that. And then, like, Bart was sort of like, you're not a mother. You're just dating a dude with kids. I'm more of a badass mother than you. And then she's like, you little fucking bitch. You stay after. And right on the fucking board, you little fucking piece of shit, Bart fucking Simpson.
And then she came home and smacked Rod and Todd just to show all the kids who's boss.
Sorry for the vulgarity of the language. I just feel like it says we're an explicit podcast, but we rarely swear. So I just
we gotta earn it.
Get those in there.
Fuckers.
Now, Steve, I'm going to go take a 20-minute break. You describe the couch gag.
Alrighty. Well, the couch is displayed in the Smithsonian Museum, and the Simpsons sneak in with Marge making the glass hole bigger using one of those cool glass cutters that are only used in spy films. And, of course, before that, they used grappling hooks, and Homer's grappling hook hit him in the head, and Maggie's grappling hook had a pacifier on the end rather than a hook because she's adorable. Well, they sneak through the museum, and they tiptoe past Dorothy's red slippers, Fonzie's jacket, and the Hope Diamond, which grabs Marge's attention because, of course, she's a woman, and the one thing that women love more than vacuuming is diamonds. And so the family continue their heist, pretending to be janitors, mummies, and then camouflaging themselves against a Jackson Pollock painting as some very cool jazz plays in the background. They then arrive at the couch only to find that it's protected by lasers. So they use a spray to reveal those beams, and so then they find holes exactly the shape of their bodies and fit themselves through those lasers and sit down on the couch like normal.
Now, it says on the Simpsons Wiki that this is the first appearances in Homer Scissorhands. I swear we've talked about this one before.
So their other episode that it was in was, I saw that.
Is it Replaceable You and At Long Last Leave? It's a snapshot montage with other episode gags. So.
At Long Last Leave has every couch gag to that point. But Replaceable You, we probably talked about at some point. We did, because it is our 284th episode, of course, that being season 23, episode 4.
Yeah, because I remember like having a discussion of like what like they should actually put maybe the Simpsons couch in Smithsonian, even though it's an animated show. I don't know if when we discussed that episode, but if you go to Springfield, Oregon, the real Springfield, of course, there's an art gallery that has a room of the Simpsons and has like a full-size couch with the family where you can like sit and get a photograph with. Now it says like suggested donation with a photo. So you don't really have to pay for it. You know, it's an art gallery. They don't need money. Those artists are rich.
When I think of artists, I think of wealth.
Yeah. But yeah, fun couch gag. I don't want to dwell on it because I think we already talked about it. So there you go.
It's good stuff.
Well, let's just begin the episode. And it begins, as it always does, in the backyard of 742 Evergreen Terrace, where Lisa is painting a Renaissance-style painting. Two women, one with a falcon preacher on her arm, and the other playing a lute. And I'm thinking, man, these women, va-va-voom, right? So all of a sudden you hear the hacking smoker's cough, and it's revealed that the models are Patty and Selma, with the iguana Jub Jub acting as a falcon, and a tennis racket filling in for the musical instruments. Now, I know how like sometimes you'll see like interpretations of what the Simpsons look like in drawings, but have like in actual human form. Is this to believe what Selma and Patty look like? Just a little Renaissance dub?
I mean,
Or is Lisa taking liberty?
I think she's probably taking a little bit of liberty, but I don't know. I think that they're probably not as hideous as Homer makes them out to be, because I feel like they're probably not that bad. And everybody's beautiful in their own way. And I'm sure that there's some TikTok that shows what they look like if they were real people too.
Oh, those creepy, like they start walking and smiling weird, and then
they're always waving.
but like all the women, no matter what, just like turn like 0-inch waists and giant boobs.
Exactly. Yeah, they're always like sexy, innocent little girls.
Yeah, like Agnes Skinner, like goes from like hunchback old lady to like tall, buxom blonde.
Mm-hmm. Gotta love AI.
Peter Griffin like turns into like John Cena. I fucking hate the internet.
It's awful.
Except for podcasts, of course.
They're the best. Yeah, no problems with podcast anywhere at all. Well, Selma complains that even as a DMV employee, she feels like this posing is taking far too long. And so Patty requests a nap, and Lisa allows it, slightly changing her style inspiration. But then Bart leaps in front of her aunts in an attempt to ruin Lisa's art, and Lisa scoffs, saying that her work isn't a photograph and that she simply wouldn't just paint him, but then she does just that.
Very hilarious scene.
Mm-hmm.
When Lisa tells Bart that he's ruined 6 months of hard work, he replies that he's really sorry, that it wasn't a year. And Lisa tells him that he'll regret the day he was born, which he already does. And it's too close to Christmas. Now, see, let's get ready to debate on two fronts here.
Okay.
Since there's no actual official canonical answer, but the most common date of Bart's birth is April 1st.
Yes.
But it's also, could be February 23rd.
Interesting. Now, February 23rd would fit in kind of, or closer with it being too close to Christmas.
But how do you determine if it's too close to Christmas? I assume if it's after December 31st and it's January 1st, it starts over. You have like 360 some odd days or 50 some odd days before Christmas.
True, but you're still close to a Christmas. And if you're talking about presents, like if your birthday is January 5th, you're probably getting screwed over. Like if your birthday is in July, then it's not too far away from Christmas. But anywhere in between that, you're getting closer and closer to a Christmas, either before or after.
Yeah, and I was going to say, if your birthday was January 5th, and depending on your family's political leanings, you might get screwed over because the next day you're celebrating a great day.
Exactly, yes. Freedom Day, as I call it.
Yeah, I knew like one kid in school that was a Christmas birthday, so I always assumed that's Slack. You are very close to Christmas. My sister was like the December 2nd, so I was always jealous because when relatives came on Thanksgiving, they would give my sister a birthday present. So she got to have a birthday present on Thanksgiving because it was so close to her birthday. And I'm like, where's my birthday presents? Which, did they ever give me birthday presents? I don't think they did.
That sucks, yeah. What was good about having, because mine's November 11th for the listeners, and so that's far enough away where I don't get too screwed over, but if I didn't get something for my birthday, I could be like, hey, how about that for Christmas? Or I could get like, if I wanted something big that had like multiple parts, like I could get part of it for my birthday and then part of it for Christmas. So
okay, so let's make the cutoff like, I think it's like the second week of January. Like, I don't know, like give it 2 weeks out of Christmas. But even like 2 weeks before Christmas, then yeah, I still think it's pretty early. Is it a whole 30 days maybe? Like if you want to be born in January, make sure you're born like January 26th, then you'll be good.
That makes sense, yeah.
But at that time too, in January, people don't have money to buy gifts. They're all broke. So you're kind of screwed as a January baby. Hey, if you're a January baby, let us know at 130simpsons@gmail.com and let us know. Or if you have a birthday close to Christmas and how you handled that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Lisa is angry, and so she flings her palette of paint at Bart, and it soars through the air like a boomerang, but Bart ducks, and the paint lands in the hair of Patty, who is fast asleep.
Ooh, so thinking quickly, Bart pours paint thinner on Patty's head, and it does, in fact, create a hole in the paint, but unfortunately it also does into Patty's hair. So, seeing that they're in trouble, Lisa thinks it's time they consult someone older and wiser. And since Homer qualifies for at least one of those attributes, they call on him.
Oh, I get to enjoy this, but I'm not responsible.
Actually, Dad, as a supervising parent today, you'll get your share of the blame too.
What do I do? Patty's gonna kill me. Unless I kill her first. I put the body in a car. I dumped the car in the lake. I put a James Taylor CD in the stereo so they think it's a suicide.
Why don't you just cut the paint out of her hair?
Oh, fine, whatever. I'll just keep cutting till I hit something solid. And now to break the news as gently as I know how. Wake up and look at your hair!
What happened to you?
I think it's silly to, if you don't know how to cut hair or have been trained, I wouldn't cut someone's hair. That'd be just silly.
Yeah, that would be a horrible, horrible decision. Especially if you like called a friend over who also didn't have any knowledge about haircutting, and like,
Well, I mean, not to be sexist, but you know, she was female. She's a girl, and I assume girls know how to cut hair.
I mean, that's reasonable, but like to have one of you like say like have a pair of scissors and the other one have a pair of clippers and just kind of like go crazy, just seems ill-advised at best.
To be fair, we were sober. I think. I don't think we were drinking.
I don't think so.
If anything, it was just like Miller High Lives.
Yeah.
We've probably told that story on the podcast many times, but yeah. Eventually just shaved Steve's head. We were maybe 25 or 6.
Yeah, I think 25.
And then, but, look at you now. You haven't had hair since.
That's true. I've not been to a haircutting place, and I got married, and I am still bald, and so yeah, it all worked out in the end, I guess.
It was mostly because after we shaved your head, we put salt on it, because, you know, you're not supposed to, like, salt the earth, because nothing will grow. We assumed that'd be the same thing.
Then you burned my head, too, which seemed unnecessary, but...
I mean, sulfuric acid
Yeah.
seemed kind of fun to use. Give you a little shine on your skull, literally, your skull.
And my head smelled like the eggs for a while, so that's fun, too. It's an egghead on 2 counts.
Well, I like Homer's decision. Like, the first thing that comes to his mind is like, well, you should probably just kill her.
Yeah. And I know we don't do tattoos anymore, but there's a scene up here where Homer's holding the shears over his head, like, and it would make for a good tattoo, I think. But
Yeah. Well, yeah, so Patty runs to a nearby bird bath to find that someone undid her doom, and Ned appears on the other side of the fence, assuring her that he did neither diddly nor squat. So Selma tells her sister that her new style is actually attractive, making her look like Posh Spice. And Homer says that he was exactly what he was aiming for, but then he whispers to Bart and Lisa that he was actually going for a Scary Spice.
oh, but like their hair is actually kind of resembles Scary Spice already.
Like Selma's does, yeah. Like it has that kind of the M shape. And, you know, Scary at that one point had the hair like that, yeah. And nothing wrong with anyone's hair, the Spice Girls, of course. So it's not really an insult, I think.
Yeah, I mean, like, Scary was always my favorite of the Spice Girls, so yeah.
Yeah. Is it because Mel B just likes to drink a lot and party, and that's what you find fun about? Yeah.
Well, I don't want to date a baby. I don't like sports that much. Posh is too fancy for me. And the other one is the other one.
Ginger.
Yeah, like, I'll eat Ginger, but I won't date it. Yeah. Anywho, Patty's amazed that Homer was capable of the act with his fat fingers and super ball-sized brain, which happens to bounce around his head before jumping out of his skull and down the street. So Selma asked Homer to do her, and as he tries to lop off his own head with the gardening shears that I was talking about for the tattoo, Selma clarifies that she meant her own hair to cut.
I mean, kind of an obvious joke to say, like, do me, and then him freaking out. I'm trying to think of a good punch-up for that. Like Homer should have said, like, well, give me a few duffs, and I'll talk to Marge about this. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fun.
Like him saying, like, you know, I was disgusted by Selma, but he's like, I'd still maybe bang you. I know that, no, because that shows infidelity in Homer. He wouldn't say that.
Yeah, especially, like, with his kind of enemy.
Yeah, that's like Peter Griffin would say that. And actually, I think I recall Peter Griffin was propositioned by Lois' sister in an episode, like a very early episode of Family Guy. Again, not a Family Guy podcast.
Not yet.
I mean, I really don't want it to be. Steve.
No, me neither.
We've reviewed one episode, and that's enough.
That was a lot.
If you don't know what we're talking about, go to patreon.com/AnnoyedGrumpBoys for that exclusive episode about the Simpsons guy. Well, let's go to the playground of Springfield Elementary, and we're going to do the B story here, Steve. Bart is eager to show Milhouse the roadblock he put on the curly slide, and then some children slide down and right into the barrier made of jump ropes. So seeing the success of his prank, Bart thinks this may just be the greatest day ever. Though, as we'll discover in this clip, Milhouse isn't so sure.
There are no more great days, Bart. Just days.
What's wrong, man?
Something happened last night. Something that really changed me. My mom put in the Finding Nemo DVD, but then she got a phone call, so I started it myself. Did you know it has a chapter before Chapter 2? A chapter where we meet Nemo's mother.
Nemo doesn't have a mother.
Not after Chapter 1, he doesn't. I know. If death can happen to a fish, it can happen to anyone. So you've got to live life while you can. So I'm gonna finally proclaim my love for Lisa.
That's your takeaway from Nemo? I think you've already made your feelings for Lisa clear.
Well, I can make them more clear. You see, in the past, I've been too subtle. It's my curse. Subtlety!
That's a good line.
Yes. Do you want my recipe?
Please.
3/4 water and 1/4 iced tea. It's subtle tea. All right.
Okay. You need to end the podcast right now. You can't do any better than that. That's the best joke you could do.
I want to talk about the parents that shield things from children. Now, this episode is 50 years old now?
Yeah.
10 years old? Something like that. It's also weird too because it's about like Milhouse having a DVD. So like kids now growing up won't have this issue unless, God willing, that physical media comes back because streaming sucks.
Yeah.
That I know they're talking about this, but I of course we didn't have friends with kids at this time when this came out. But like shielding now, I think it's because of our age, millennials, like we were just exposed to everything, every death in movies and TV, and Bambi, of course, and Old Yeller. Like you watched Old Yeller in like 3rd grade in your elementary school, So we're exposed to like life and death, but now like parents try to shield this. And so like the joke of that, even Bart doesn't know about the beginning of Nemo. I'm going to assume that they don't know the beginning of Up. And I just want to like assure our listeners, because I am raising a daughter, that all I'm going to show them is like the beginning of Bambi, the beginning of Nemo, the beginning of the end of Old Yeller. We're going to watch Exorcist this Halloween, both the director's cut and the theatrical cut.
Hey, why not throw my girl in there and just like show like the last 10 minutes?
Absolutely. But of course I won't show things like Passion of the Christ. We're not religious.
Of course not. Yeah, that's weird.
Maybe just the crucifixion.
Yeah. The good parts.
Yeah, so I just want to know, like, were you like shielded, I guess is my question, from things. I don't think you would be, right?
Not really. I think this is very common in the 80s. I was shielded away from any sort of sexuality. I remember my dad rented the cult movie The Adventures of Baron Munchausen, which is a weird-ass, trippy, like, I think it's Terry Gilliam directed it. It's a very surreal movie about this weird German adventurer who goes on, like, these fantastic adventures. But there's a scene where they recreate the painting The Venus de Milo, so there's a naked woman on a clamshell. And I remember fast-forwarding through that part, and then, like, some violence, that's fine.
Right. That was always the weirdest part of being an 80s kid.
Yeah.
Is titties bad, violence good. I think, trying to think of like the movies like shielded from, I don't know, it'll be like, like my dad would watch like Kentucky Fried Movie. And so it's like, okay, I pretty much had to turn my head for the most of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Actually they did shield me from RoboCop. The beginning when Peter Weller gets shot up. They're like, you can't watch this as a kid. So at least they shielded that violence from me.
I was pretty like immune to violence growing up in the 80s, but that scene in RoboCop, that's the one that like horrified me.
I still can't watch it because they did that to me. So, but for some weird reason, when I was like 10 years old, Mom was like, yeah, it was like Halloween time. It's like, yeah, you could watch The Exorcist. Oh, you could watch The Shining. It's fine. Because we watched like The Shining on TV when it was like on TBS or whatever. So they're going to, of course, cut out the attractive young naked lady. And then when she gets, the old gross dead lady, it's all blurred anyway. So that doesn't matter. And the blowjob scene's not really a blowjob scene.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't have to explain that to me. I just thought, oh, people wearing dog masks is weird.
Oh, it's a cameo from Ralph from the
Yeah.
Muppets.
So all I'm trying to say is I'm going to let my daughter watched all the Disney. I mean, all Disney movies have like a dead parent in it. It's just that's what it is.
There are no happy parent couples in Disney whatsoever.
No,
I'm thinking about it. Yeah. I don't remember Finding Nemo that well. I liked it just fine, though.
I just remember Dory was just a dick to the rest of her staff.
Yeah.
That's all.
And Nemo's dad was hilarious. I loved his voice work.
Yes. I'd like to hear more of that actor's voice work on shows like this.
Exactly. Well, not this episode. At the dinner table that night, Homer learns that Patty and Selma have been receiving several comments at the D&D about their new haircut. Why, even Abe thinks that they are looking open casket good. The doorbell rings and Lindsay Nagel bursts in looking for Springfield's hottest new hairdresser because she needs a haircut in 3, 2, 1, now.
Is this the most like unhinged Lindsay Nagel dresses played? Like it's almost border like, is this Lindsay Nagel?
It's weird because, yeah, it doesn't really seem... She does seem a little off-kilter. And I think that Lindsay Nagel is kind of like Raphael in a way where like she has a name, but she feels a lot of roles in Springfield, so they're just kind of put her where she's needed. And so, yeah, she's a little crazier than normal.
No, I agree. So Homer tries to explain to Lindsay that he isn't a hairdresser, adding that he simply just put new lids on a couple of trash cans. So Lindsay places a $100 bill on the table, and after Marge's help converting the currency to smackaroos, she's like, it's also 100. Homer agrees to the job.
So, in the kitchen, Homer uses one of the corn curtains as a barber's chair cover and gets to work. He snips and snips and snips, and hair flies everywhere. And Lindsay is amazed, repeatedly saying, wow, in near orgasmic delight. And once the homage to Tim Burton's classic, and also the title of the episode, she is ready for the airport piano bar. And then she lies on the floor and is happy to find that she'll look good even in the morning. I like that joke a lot.
Yeah, this is one of like the worst things to ever happen to us growing up, being 21, single, is 9/11. And because we never got to experience airport bars, just hanging out at the lounges.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the worst thing that happened, right?
We're the real victims, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Because, imagine me and you. I would have been like, we're going to hang out at the airport lounge and we're going to meet some stewardesses. And, none of that would have happened.
Right, but we would have gone anyway. Because I do remember, like, at some point before 9/11, driving near the airport and sitting on the hood of our car a la Wayne's World.
Don't forget, we did hang out in the airport because of Dogma, because, like, Loki and Bartleby
That's right.
and Affleck and Matt Damon's Angels would hang out at airports.
Mm-hmm.
And so we would do the same thing because we tried to emulate everything Kevin Smith wrote.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm trying to emulate him now with getting a heart attack and losing weight, but it's not working yet.
And if our dialogue's a little clunky, that's why.
So impressed with his work, Lindsay asks if Homer has a salon, and he admits to opening a lot of crazy things while drunk, but not a salon. And I was kind of hoping, like, because the words saloon and salon are so close, there could have been a joke there, but I guess saloon and salon is more of like a paper joke.
Right, yeah. But I like it.
Yeah, so Homer asks Marge to call him Homer Fingerhands. I just love this take of Marge. She's like, no, I'm just going to I prefer to call you by your real name. I don't know, this is a funny joke because Homer's like, call me this. And usually in that joke sense of like, call me Craig Danger or whatever if I'm like going to jump off a cliff or something like that. It's just like, Marge is like, no, let's call you by your real name. It's very funny.
Yeah, and also Fingerhands is a funny name because fingers, they're already on hands.
Okay, how about punch up for that? She should have been like, I'm not going to use the name I call you when we snuggle.
There you go. I like that. But Marge is surprised to learn about Homer's newfound talent, but he explains that when one loses their hair, they miss it the most, like a beloved dog that died on your head. And then Homer flashes back to his teenage years, brushing his luxurious locks, staring into the bathroom mirror. Abe knocks on the door, telling him that he better not be brushing his hair again, and Homer assures his father that he's simply masturbating, which pleases Abe.
I mean, he doesn't say masturbated, but it's implied. He's exploring his body.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I do when I explore. I masturbate. Much like DeSoto.
But not Magellan. Yeah, the term exploring your body is just like, like, I just think like, okay, well, there's my ankles, there's my toes. Okay, I'm exploring.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, young Homer continues to comb his hair until it starts to fall out, and then go back to the present day with his soft chestnut mane gone. So Homer dreams of cutting hair, styling hair, and making hair shorter in exchange for money. And Homer thinks that maybe he should open a salon. Marge is supportive, recalling a Newsweek article saying that it's good to change careers, which was released the day after they laid off all their editors. So this is where like I'm confused in this episode. Not confused, I'm like, it's rare where Marge is supportive of Homer's ventures.
That is true, yeah.
And I like that.
Mm-hmm. And she does, like, as we'll see later in the episode, she does support him throughout. And that is kind of rare. But I feel like Homer's had so many jobs that at a certain point, Marge's would be like, yeah, okay. This one's, I guess, good.
Because it's one that would probably suit her.
Yeah.
Yeah. They'll save money in the long run.
That's true. But Homer's concerned about finding commercial rental property. But luckily for him, businesses are failing right and left. And one of those businesses is Honey Me Mine. So as apiarists haul bees away, Captain McAllister ruefully states that he really thought that people would want to harvest their own honey. But oh, how they hated it.
So it's like a you pick berry field.
Yeah, exactly. But with bees. But I feel like in Portland, that would probably do okay.
Yeah. They'll give you like a B suit.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe an A suit. Not a D suit, though.
No. And not a C suit because you're not going swimming.
Exactly. Which is funny because, Captain McAllister would have a C suit.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, in the cafeteria of Springfield Elementary, Milhouse makes a very important declaration. He stands on a table and uses a bullhorn to call on the lovers of love to hear him say that Lisa Simpson is the smartest, sweetest, most perfect girl in the whole world, and he will not rest until he is her boyfriend.
So, knowing her love of music, Milhouse performs a song for Lisa with the help of a theremin and the royalty-free tune Greensleeves. So he sings of eating glue despite its teacher's warning of potential vomiting. So in the song, he passes out and dreams of Lisa. And she offers some mild criticism about using the word spew in the love song, but Milhouse continues with the little tap dancing and an accompaniment from Martin with a lute, which happens to be our second lute of the episode. And Milhouse offers his heart, but will Lisa receive it? Let's find out.
So, Lisa, I love you. Is that love requited or un?
I'm sorry, but I don't love you, Milhouse, and I never will.
I thought that was beautiful. You did?
Yeah, it was romantic, and it rhymed.
Well, I used a rhyming dictionary. But it only gives you options. The job of the poet is to say, this one, I guess.
I'm Taffy.
Would you like to help me roll the theremin back to the AV closet?
It's a date.
That theremin has paid for itself again and again.
I just had to look up if there is any love songs with the word spew in them. The internet says it's highly unlikely, but there's some other here's some songs called Spew by the Obsessed, but it's an instrumental track from the 1991 album, Lunar Womb. There's Spew by BL, a song about overcoming internal struggles with lyrics like, I'll take a deep breath, I'll tell you all you need to know about how I gave up on everything about 2 months ago, but you're the only thing I want to get better for real. He doesn't use the word spew. Anyways, and of course, when we think of spew, we think of spew. If you're going to spew into this by the aforementioned Wayne's World. Stevie brought Wayne's World.
That's right.
Earlier. The theremin as Milhouse's instrument, I think, is...
Mm-hmm. I happen to be a big proponent of the theremin, but it does feel like a wiener instrument for a wiener kid like Milhouse.
Wait. Can you use your hammer on the theremin?
I mean, I guess one could, because, like, the whole thing is you don't actually touch it, and I find that that's what most people want from my hammer, so...
I mean, you probably have to be erect, right? You can't really be floppy.
Yeah, I would say that you'd have to be erect, and then use your other hand or somebody else's hammer, because you basically need two instruments to play the instrument.
I think I saw this in Vegas, Puppetry of the Penis once. Yeah, it sounds like something they do. Is that still around?
I don't know, I doubt it.
All right. I'm more into the ventriloquist of the vagina.
That's what she said. So Taffy is played by the always wonderful Kristen Schaal. You probably know her from Flight of the Conchords, 30 Rock, Last Man on Earth, or, of course, Bob's Burgers, which actually started like 3 months before this episode began in January of 2011. Most recently, you probably saw her on What We Do in the Shadows. And this episode caused a little bit of controversy or something because in the credits they spelled her name Schall when it's actually spelled with 2 A's and 1 L. And so in the following episode, Bart's chalkboard gag was clarified. It's Kristen Shaw, not Shaw. The second spelling incorrect, the first one right, which we talked about in our episode 500 Keys, which we talked about in, I think, 2023, a while back.
I remember that episode.
Me too. There were a lot of keys.
Yes, at least 499. Yeah, Kristen Shaw, household name in this household.
Me too.
And you know what's funny, too, is even the 5th grader version of Taffy kind of looks like, I think, what Kristen Shaw would look like in the 5th grade.
Yeah. She's got the same cheeks, same hair. Yeah, I see it, totally.
Homer opens his salon, Are We Hair Yet? And is immediately inundated with customers. While he cuts her hair, Manjula complains that Apu goes on and on about Lady Gaga. This is before the Lady Gaga episode, too, which is funny. Homer compliments Manjula's youthful demeanor. Steve, I like to also compliment your youthful wiener.
Thank you.
And he gives her a stylish cut. So Helen Lovejoy spills that Timothy always uses a short form baptism when basketball is on. Is that new? Is Timothy a huge hoops fan?
I guess so.
Who's his team?
Obviously
Homer's is the Clippers.
Of course, especially this episode.
That's what I meant.
Well, it wouldn't be the Raptors because, God, they don't like dinosaurs. And so it wouldn't be the Magic either, or the Wizards.
Not the Mavericks?
Not the Mavericks. I mean, Utah Jazz feels kind of right.
Because it's Utah and there is no Jazz in Utah. So
right.
Yeah. I don't know about the Jazz. Is there maybe the Trailblazers, Portland Trailblazers, because, it's almost like a train.
That is probably the closest train adjacent.
I mean, maybe the Oklahoma City Thunder, because, Thunder's made by God in his eyes.
I mean, one could argue that everything's made by God, so.
I don't know. Have you seen the newest Downton Abbey movie? This smells like Satan wrote that.
Not a BBC podcast.
A big black cock?
Not yet.
We kind of are.
Yeah, that's true.
So woman after woman gets their hair did, and all of them with something to complain about.
That's right. So, drained from the litany of problems that he's heard, Homer finds it difficult to listen to Marge, who has so much to tell him. She describes how the mailman worked the other side of the street first, and then she was shocked, I tell you, to learn that the letter carrier was a substitute. And Homer tells Marge that he has to listen to women talk all day long. And then Maggie removes her pacifier to speak, and Homer tells his youngest child, now is not a good time.
Aw. So the following day, Lisa opens her lock and several of her school books fall out. By the way, we're at Springfield Elementary. So when Bart points out that she says that Milhouse is usually there to grab them, but just then, Milhouse appears holding the hand of Taffy.
Hey, guys. Lisa, you dropped your books. When you pick them up, make sure you bend your knees.
You know so much about body mechanics.
Well, I've worn a lot of different braces in my time.
This dame is really into you.
She sure is. This morning I got to second base on our walk around the softball diamond.
Why would a popular 5th grader like Taffy be interested in a Milhouse like Milhouse?
It's one of those mysteries. Like, how do my clothes get clean and put back in my drawers?
Well, I'm gonna find out why, because this...
Oh! Knees, Lisa! Knees!
We won't talk about the bases. Or hate, I know Milhouse brought it up. I feel like every episode we talk about it.
Yeah, I was going to say, we don't need to bring it up, but I will say that I think that he actually did get to second base while walking the bases, not like literally, but like, anyway.
So you got anal. Good.
Right. Lisa needs to drink more milk. Her bones cracking like that, not healthy.
I'm sure Milhouse would offer his white milk to her. Jesus.
Well, in the salon, Homer attends to several customers at once. Luann describes how her miniature dachshund Rex is showing dominance over Kirk and is therefore more attractive to her. And after lazily saying that men are dogs and vice versa, Homer asks the women if any of them would like a haircut without all the chatter. And most of them all say no, but Gavin and Caitlin's mom, from Marge Be Not Proud, states that she doesn't want a conversation. Instead, she just wants Homer to listen as she talks about the loser that she's married to. Fun cameo from her.
Oh, I didn't know that was Caitlin and Gavin's mom. I thought that was your wife, Laura.
She is married to a loser.
Anyways, in a panic, Homer screams, running out of his salon with scissors. He must have listened to that weird Al Yankovic album, Running with Scissors.
Oh, Alpalooza.
So he runs through the playground, cutting Sherry O'Terry's necks in half. Oh, sorry, type of typo. Rope in half. Then snips the mini leashes of dog walkers, and then cuts the suspension ropes of a bridge as he crosses it. And what's really funny is when I'm watching, it's like, I said out loud, it's like, wow, those are some really sharp scissors. And then as he was done, he says the same thing, like, okay, good. It wasn't just like a dumb Simpsons joke, but the fact that Homer commented on that was really funny.
Yeah, I like, sometimes you can see like the thinking behind a joke, like especially a visual joke, and you're like, okay, what can we cut with scissors aside from hair? And so they had a jump rope, and then they had, the leash, and then suspension bridge. I think it's a fun elevation of that. So really good.
I wonder if there was a deleted scene where while he was running with the scissors that he went into like a synagogue, and then the sign says, free circumcisions today. And then you just run in and you hear a bunch of babies crying.
Well, I like earlier in the episode when he started to cut Patty's hair, he's like, I'll start cutting when I hit something hard. And he probably said the same thing in the synagogue. So looking for relief, Homer heads to Moe's. He tells Moe and all the male patrons that all day long he hears stupid, pointless, boring stories, and he has to stand there listening to with a phony grin plastered on his face. So Moe, with a phony grin plastered on his face, pours Homer another duff. Kirkland Houghton assures Homer that he's in a safe space where he can forget all that, but when he looks around the men at the bar, all he can see are their partners and what they complained about, such as,
of course, Kirk Van Houten. He gets his ass kicked by the dog.
Timothy Lovejoy, who chews Bible ribbon, cheats at bowling, gives bad foot rubs, and makes rolling stops.
Clancy Wiggum loses remote in fat folds, never votes, addicted to the internet, scared of bathroom spiders. Did I read mine or Chief Wiggum's? Sorry.
Then we have Seymour Skinner, who cries on snow days, steals light bulbs, eats pizza backwards, and never buys underwear.
And then Ed Flanders, stupid. Now, it's a very funny scene, but why is Flanders at Moe's?
That's a good question. He has a bar in his basement.
And just like to make this Flanders stupid joke.
Mm-hmm.
And what is he like? Because no one's there getting his hair. I guess maybe Edna, but she's not in the scene, right?
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. Flanders there. I'm knocking points off her, so it doesn't need to be there.
That's very fair.
I do like the fact that Skinner cries on snow days. That's because he loves his job as being a principal. He wants to be at school, being principal.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And, if you live with your mommy, you would expect your mommy to buy you underwear.
And steal light bulbs? That's just economical.
Yeah. And pizza, eating pizza backwards kind of makes sense because the crust is the least best part. So if you eat it first, it's out of the way.
And don't you remember when Shaq taught us to eat the crust backwards in the 90s because pizza had the stuffed crust pizza?
And now he's a pizza magnate.
Man, Shaq loves his pizza.
Yeah.
If Shaq eats pizza, then I eat pizza.
That's right.
And Skinner never buys underwear, so he just goes commando. It makes sense because military or Vietnam vets, they didn't wear underwear, like Navy SEALs back in the Vietnam days. They didn't wear underwear. I learned this from Quantum Leap.
Wow.
See, TV teaches me things.
Yeah, you're so smart.
Thanks. Do you want me to tell you all about warp field theory?
Please do.
All right, maybe on our Patreon.
All right.
So Homer screams, telling the guys that when he looks at them, all he can see is the foibles that drive their women crazy. Foibles! Moe tries to calm him down, but behind Moe's head is the word killer. And Homer shrieks and runs and out of the bar, and leaving Moe to wonder what his problem is. And then Moe moves to show the sign says Duff, the thirst killer, along with other signs like Duff, murder your boredom, and disembowel your blues with Duff. Even Moe admits that it's a freaky ad campaign they are running. I like it.
That's fun. Always good. And I like that Moe wasn't really a weirdo either. Like, he had that fake smile in the beginning, and then, he's like, hey, yeah, I gotta listen to these guys' problems, and I'm fine. Yeah. So, standing outside of Are We Here Yet, Homer writes the word never all over the clock on his will return sign. But there's one more customer looking for his services. And as we'll hear in this clip, Wiggum proves that cops are pretty useless, except for getting what they want.
Homer, can you make me look fancy?
Sorry, Sarah, I'm retired.
But tonight's the policeman's ball, and if you let my Sarah down, I can make life very difficult for you.
I'd like to see you try.
Where you going?
Excuse me. Come on, would you?
No.
Oh, boo!
I can also make very annoying noises.
Come on, bro, don't hassle me. Stop that! Okay, you win. I'll teach you how to make love to your wife.
What? No, just cut her hair.
Right.
Homer, I thought you were gonna quit.
I can't. They won't let me. Lenny, be a pal and saw off my hands.
Why don't you do here what you do at the nuclear plant? Namely, suck.
Suck? Of course!
That's how he keeps his job at the power plant.
Jesus. Excellent. Or maybe Smithers,
Yeah.
You'd appreciate it more. That's right, Simpson.
One of the
That's my Smithers.
cocksuckers from Sector 7G.
I think now, we're reviewing the newest episodes of The Simpsons, and as of late, in the past couple of seasons, Sarah Wiggum actually has a voice that's not a staff voice, and that voice is Megan Mullally, of course, famous for being a great actress.
Exactly, yeah. Will and
But
Grace.
this is not Megan yet. She's yet to do the voice. This was still Pamela Hayden, and it's the last time she did it, before, of course, Megan. And I love Megan Mullally, but Pamela Hayden's voice is Sarah Wiggum. It's really funny to me. It's a very funny voice.
The way that she hit fancy.
Yes.
And it rhymes with Clancy. Really good.
Yeah. And just how long Clancy goes on with his annoying sounds.
Mm-hmm.
Very funny. Very reminiscent of the Dumb and Dumber want to hear the most annoying sound in the world bit.
And also, I think that Homer saying "Don't hassle me, bro" is kind of a call to the "Don't tase me, bro," which happened in 2007, back when things couldn't get any worse. And then, here we are. Anywho, Helen Lovejoy sits in the chair, recalling how she told Timothy that he cannot keep basing his sermons on old episodes of Seinfeld. Homer closes his eyes and starts snipping, only to find that, much like Mozart and Johnny Knoxville, his genius cannot be stopped. Crying, Homer finds only one way out: committing barbicide by drinking barbicide. That blue liquid used to sanitize combs and scissors. But that proves ineffective, leaving Homer to ask, why doesn't anything kill him?
All right, I'm just going to start off by saying, not a political podcast, but do you think Timothy Lovejoy is using the old episode of Seinfeld? Now he's just talking about how the pro-Palestinian protests are very much similar to David Duke and the KKK.
I think so, yeah. I don't want to go through the Springfield and who has a pro-Palestinian, pro-Israeli stance.
But I'm going to say, not a political. Okay, I already said not a political podcast.
Yeah.
Jerry, you're a comedian. Just make us laugh.
Yeah.
Don't get into politics, please.
Yeah, you're barely a human. Just make jokes. Talk about candy. Talk about cereal. Make another Pop-Tarts movie.
No, don't. I'd rather watch, actual news. I'd rather watch Fox News than watch that again.
Unintentionally, it's funnier.
True. Maybe Newsmax. Is that the one? Or
yeah, that's
News Now, whatever it is. OAN network. Anyways, our podcast, I think, is on those networks. So that evening, Lisa checks out the social media page of Taffy, aptly titled "Pulling Taffy." That's a funny joke, because isn't that what you say when you can't get your dick hard? I'm sorry, your hammer hard.
Yeah, it's like pulling Taffy.
Fans of this page include Weasel, Janie, Becky, Allison, Milhouse, and Kyle. So her blog post reveals her relationship with Milhouse, along with her lip gloss struggles and her deciding to pivot from her original career goals of being a model / gymnast / veterinarian, which oddly were Steve's goals. Bart walks in on her cyber snooping, and Lisa jumps to action. And then in this clip, we'll also hear that even Homer's new career path makes him question his sanity.
Hey, that's Taffy's page. Ooh, I see that she's in a relationship.
Shut up. I just want to know what she's up to with Milhouse. A girl like her could get a 5th grader. Maybe even Kyle LoBianco.
I hear he goes to California on his vacations.
That's the first thing everyone knows about Kyle LoBianco. Taffy's up to something. And I won't find out what it is sitting at a computer. It's time to get boots on the ground. You like my boots?
Once you get past the sister ick, they're fine.
Oh.
Oh, my poor homie.
Marge, do you hear it? Listen, it's the hair. Growing, always growing. Blonde, brunette, auburn.
This ends now.
I will say that in the plus side of this episode, the scene with Bart and Lisa was very kid-like, and I liked it. And the fact that Kyle going to California for the summer, and that's the one thing that everyone knows about him, that feels like a very real thing. Like, we all had that one kid that liked to go skiing, or we all knew, like, one fact about him outside of, like, the school world, and it was just kind of like the thing you knew about him.
You mean the rich kids?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, I remember, like, got to go to, like, a country club with a kid from elementary school once, and it's like, yeah, his parents belong to the country club. I'm like, asking my parents, why, there's everything's there. Why can't we do that? It's like, yeah, like, we can afford that. I'm like, what do you mean? Didn't you have to pay for this? Also, yeah, you're right about Lisa and Bart. But the term, like, boots on the ground, that's very much in that time period, too. Yeah, boots on the ground, talking about making more wars, right? Is that what it was about?
I think so, yeah. And, like, of course, her boots are cute little rain boots with flowers on them, which Bart can appreciate.
Yeah, it is, like, a weird, like, as someone who had sister, you and I, and, like, it's hard to compliment, like, a female sibling.
Yeah, it started to be like, hey, you look good.
Yeah, you can't say, even I won't make a joke, so. So just as Marge calls for an end of the salon madness, Lindsay Nago climbs through the kitchen window, demanding highlights for an upcoming bridal shower. And Marge tells her that she could start with a rinse by spraying her with a faucet hose that is, it's always in the kitchen sink, right? And Lindsay even offers to pay for product, but it's of no use.
Well, on a hike with Taffy, Milhouse begins to have an asthma attack. But luckily for him, Taffy has a bandolier of inhalers at the ready for her silly Millie. And in a nearby bush, Lisa uses her binoculars to spy on the couple, wondering who would stick to Milhouse like that. And she continues her sneaking, greeted by fellow stalker in the bushes, Mo.
Wasn't there another episode where Mo was in the bushes and Lisa was also in the bushes?
Yeah, I think so. Like,
Yeah.
They're both kind of creeps. Maybe they should get together.
Yeah, I hope so. And in our country, that could soon happen.
Absolutely.
So Taffy and Milhouse reach the holding hands point, and Lisa following close behind. Seeing how late it's getting, Lisa admits to herself that she won't be getting her homework done.
Oh.
Tiptoeing through the bushes, Lisa witnesses one hand clasping to another and decides to make herself known.
All right, sister, what's your game?
Oh, we're just trying to put our relationship back together. In the Saki Salisbury steak. Everywhere else, creamed corn.
I am so sorry.
Lisa?
Ugh,
Not her again.
yeah, Lisa. Can't you leave me alone? We're over.
You're not over. You never were. Milhouse, you're a great guy. But we're not gonna work out for one reason.
Is it 'cause when I wore cuffed pants, they filled up with leaves?
That wasn't a great day for us. But it's because you'll always be in love with her. He likes his apple pie warm and his a la mode cold. Good luck.
You don't want me to be with you. You don't want me to be with someone else. How miserable do I have to be before you're happy?
Steve, you just texted me that the other day, that how miserable do I have to be before you're happy? Was that a reference to this? I mean, this was like 2 weeks ago when you texted me that.
Yeah, I just want to know, how miserable do I have to be to make you happy? Because I'll do it. Don't worry, I will.
I mean, you did a really good job.
Okay, good, because I'm really unhappy, so...
I'll pull Lisa on you then.
Thank you. I want to go back to the beginning of that clip, though, and talk about Lunch Lady Dora and Hans Moleman. One, I don't know whether Salisbury steak or creamed corn, which is a good thing.
I didn't understand that either.
I think it's supposed to be that creamed corn is bad.
Right.
And Salisbury steak, good. But it's also weird to, like, see your cafeteria attendant and to have them talk about their sex life to you. A little weird. Hey, little girl. This guy's good in the sack, but not good at life.
But maybe that's why it was so vague. We couldn't figure out, like, is that good or bad? Maybe she was just saying that to confuse Lisa. Like, Lisa wouldn't eat Salisbury steak.
It's true, especially not Hans Moleman's.
No. She'd eat cream corn, especially Hans Moleman's.
Exactly.
Are you a big cream corn fan?
I don't know. If it's a special occasion, I guess I'll eat cream corn.
Like your wedding night?
Yeah, on my birthday.
Which is too close to Christmas.
Exactly. Also, I feel like I don't understand Taffy's motivation for dating Milhouse. Like, they don't really specify because they talk about her being a popular fifth grader, and they're implying that she would have like an ulterior motive, and that's what Lisa wanted to find out. But it seemed like she just liked Milhouse for reason.
Yeah, I was gonna bring this up in my review, but I almost thought, were they going to go with a Pygmalion George Bernard Shaw with this, or to our fans, She's All That.
You mean the show Selfie with John Woo and not John Woo, John Cho and Karen
Gillian?
Yeah.
You mean My Fair Lady? Yeah, I almost thought it was going to be like a prank that the fifth graders, like Kyle, was like, I bet you could, make Milhouse a cool kid. But it wasn't, and I think that's what's really interesting about, like, they didn't go with that angle. So
it would have been kind of funny to have him have a glasses off, hair down moment.
But hair, and then he goes to Homer to get his hair like, all right, let's write that down. That might be a point. Okay. Speaking of Milhouse, he hangs his head, leaving Lisa stammering. So she groans and then kisses him squarely on the lips. And, maybe that's romantic, but hey, consent, right?
Consent is key.
Right. So, if, it's fine if she does it to Milhouse, but could you imagine if, like, we tried to do that to Lisa, we'd be canceled.
I mean, for reasons. There's plenty of reasons. One, she's 8-year-old, and she's fictional, and we're both married.
Well, I mean, asked if this means that she likes it. Lisa says yes, then no. She's not sure, but she knows that life is full of unexpected things, and you should never give up. And that Milhouse is cute in the moonlight.
Aw. So, delighted by what he just heard, Milhouse leans back, falling off a cliff. And then he reappears on the back of a majestic bald eagle. Again, bald, hair, cutting. It's the whole thing. Shouting, everything's coming up, Milhouse.
So this was definitely a quote for the fans, because I think at this time, too, like, internet was just quoting Milhouse or quoting The Simpsons and making memes, and everything's coming up. Milhouse is a very popular line. So I think it was like, we see you, fans, and we hear you. Yeah. Well, let's go to the Springfield Inn at another policeman's ball. Didn't we just have a policeman's ball?
There's always a policeman's ball, yeah.
It's a great trope.
Mm-hmm.
I never watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but was there ever a policeman's ball episode?
I feel like there was, yeah. I think there were a couple, actually.
I know that's a show that I think should be on my list of watching, because I know I will like the humor and the whatnots, and I like the actors and everyone in it.
I never finished it, but it was what I saw. I saw like the first 4 seasons, and it was very good. And I've been actually thinking about going back to watch it. So yeah, it's a good stuff.
Are we going to have the Policemen's Ball podcast?
Maybe. Policemen having a ball.
How about ACAB? Annoyed Cuck Boys.
And Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Annoyed Cop Boys. ACAB. Annoyed Cop. Annoyed Boys.
Annoyed Cunt and Boys.
All right. Anyways, there's a sign that says this one feature, the thin blue line dancing. So inside a Sideshow Mel welcomes his esteemed guests, such as Dr. and Mrs. Julius Hibbert. Again, this is the way they announced people back in olden times.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. and Mrs. Julia Hibbert, Mr. Discotheque Stewart, unaccompanied. He said his girlfriend didn't feel well that evening. And then Krusty the Clown shows up with Disco Stew's girlfriend. So Homer and Marge then make their appearance, and Homer looking dashing in his tuxedo, and Marge looking ravishing in her black ball gown and stylish new hairdo.
Mr. Homer J. and Mrs. Marge Bouvier Simpson.
Hey! Move over, Lard Lad statue. It's the 8th wonder of the Springfield world.
You've outdone yourself, Homer.
Oh, yes, ladies. I've outdone myself. Outdone myself by not doing it at all.
Stop talking crazy talk.
I'm afraid it's all too true. My wife has betrayed me with another hairdresser!
No! Another hairdresser? Who is it? We must know!
No. Julio is my little secret. I've said too much.
Julio?
That's right, ladies. And I never heard a complaint I didn't sympathetically cluck to. That's how I roll. Okay, first 5 customers get a discount. Next 5 hear secrets about the first 5. Come on, get in line.
I mean, Julio is canonically Marge's hairdresser, right?
Yeah, and I think it's a fun little ruse that they had going on.
What's a ruse?
A cunning plan. Why, Kevin Smith?
You can't think of the Clerk's quote.
No, but that's where I learned the word, so.
Same here. I also learned Snoochie Boochies.
Naganooch. The whole glossary of words. Like, you can learn a lot from Clerks alone, like I learned about snowballing.
And the number 37.
In a row. So Marge runs to Homer saying that her plan worked perfectly. She adds that no one but Homer could make her feel that beautiful. Homer thanks her for saving him from the horrible life that Warren Beatty had in Shampoo. Homer returns Marge's kindness by washing her hair at sunset in the comfort of their backyard. And Marge is in ecstasy, saying that Homer knows how to please a woman. He agrees, provided that it doesn't involve him losing weight or changing his pants. And that's our episode.
Yeah, I agree. Losing weight or changing pants. Because if you lose weight, you got to change your pants because they're going to be too big.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was fun, Steve. I think I have a conclusion now. Like I said at the beginning, I think I have my thoughts on this. How about you?
I think I'm there.
Okay, so I'm just going to rethink them, regroup, and then come back and we'll discuss.
Sounds good.
All right, we'll be right back. Thoughts regrouped. And we're back. Steve, let's finish up this week's episode. Homer, Scissorhands. We'll talk about some of our favorite scenes, find out MVJ. We'll give a review, find out what we're watching next week. But before all of that, we like to find something from this episode that could be made as a gift. Now, Steve, I have an option for you. It's not a big gift, but I just happened, perchance, to get 2 tickets to this year's Policeman Ball here in City.
I love City. Policeman's Ball.
And so I would like to ask you to be my chaperone, date, whatever it is, whatever you want it to be. But your gift will be, you have to wear these items, and it's from the couch gag. You either will be sporting this lovely Hope Diamond or Fonzie's jacket. Which do you choose?
It's a real Sophie's choice. I mean, I do love diamonds, much like Rihanna and all other women, and, 1/4 of card players. Yeah, there are 3 like hearts and clubs and spades.
What about the Irish who like other Lucky Charms?
Exactly.
All right.
Red balloons.
Nina?
99 of them. I think I gotta go with Fonzie's jacket because much like him, I am cool, and I say A.
Throughout the day.
Exactly, yeah. And I also like to punch jukeboxes.
I forgot to tell you, though, it's not actually the Hope Diamond. It's the Bob Hope Diamond. Boy, I got to tell you. Brooke Shields, am I right?
I'm on the road to hilarity.
But I'll accept either answer. So enjoy your ball with Fonzie's jacket and me. That's it.
Wow. Well, thank you, Craig. I got you a couple things. One, a rhyming dictionary so you can be a poet, because all you got to say is that one. I got you a really good pair of scissors, and you may use that for your next gift, which is a James Taylor CD, in case, you ever need to take care of things.
I mean, I don't want to brag, but I think I have most of James Taylor CDs.
That makes sense.
Oh.
No, he's a great artist. Yeah. Sweet baby James.
Well, yeah, You're So Vain could be about him, but we think, by Carly Simon, but I think it's Warren Beatty.
Like in Shampoo.
Yes. I never saw Shampoo. Maybe on our Patreon, Steve. So, Steve, what made you laugh in this episode?
I liked how Marge was really game in this episode. I liked her joke about the Newsweek article about changing careers when they fired all the editors. The scissors gag, I thought that was fun. And I liked Bart and Lisa's interactions, but I think I'm going to give, it's a very small role. Actually, no, I'm going to give honorable mention to Mo. I like the joke about him smiling with a dead smile because he has to listen to people all day. That's the thing that bartenders and hairdressers share. But I'm going to give it to Triss. Once again, I know this isn't the Lindsay Nagel that we know and love, but it's a crazy Lindsay, and I kind of like how unhinged she is. So for that, Triss gets my vote. How about you, Craig?
Well, I agree with you. For once, and I said it in the podcast, the Marge teaming up with Homer, sticking by his plans. It's very nice that she's not nagging as she has in episodes. And let's not forget Kristen Shaw.
Oh, yeah, very good.
Kristen Shaw, as she was in this episode. And the fact that they didn't go with that trope of doing the Pygmalion episode, which I thought they were going to do, and that she was just a girl that actually liked Milhouse, that's nice and refreshing, because it's Lisa's problem that she has with Milhouse. It's not anyone else. Yes, I know the bullies like to make fun of Milhouse or, beat him up, but, maybe that fifth grade girl actually saw Milhouse as something special, and he was to her. And so it makes me sad that, there's a perfectly good girl right there for you, Milhouse, but yet you're still fawning over Lisa, and you never will get over her. You're right, the writing with scissors gag. I like the beginning, too, with Bart and Lisa painting Patty and Selma. When Bart was in the painting, that was very fun and quick. MBJ, I don't think it's going to be Lisa because she's kind of a jerk in this episode. In fact, she is a jerk in this episode. I'm going to make a point of making her a jerk. Homer's frustration, not that funny, right? Moe's great. Bart has a couple fun lines. I'll just give it to Milhouse because everything will come up Milhouse in this episode for him, even though the Eagle scene at the end was very silly, to the point of dumb. But what did you give this episode altogether?
Yeah, it's real tough. There were some parts of this episode that I really laughed at, and I like most of their interactions with the characters, the relationship stuff, but we got to think about some of the tropes of The Simpsons that we see a lot that this is doing, like Homer getting a new job that's kind of random, and he has this newfound skill that he excels at, and then just kind of gives up completely. I'll say this, I really like Milhouse's perspective and story in this because I think it captures him as being a little wiener kid, which he is, but he's sympathetic. And while in more recent seasons, he is kind of a little jerkier or a little bit more selfish. I think in this one, he's just kind of well-meaning and kind of hurt. And his line about to Lisa about you don't want me to be with you, but you don't want me to be with her. What am I supposed to do? When will you be happy with my misery? I think it's, it's a well-written line. And so I'm going to say that this for me is a soft watch. I think that, a kid coming to terms with death is kind of profound, even if it is from a DVD. But speaking of DVDs, I will give them credit for the first chapter of Finding Nemo being Nemo's parents, which it actually is in real life. And there are 32 total chapters in that DVD, I'm talking standard edition. And so out of 32, I'm going to give this 19. So it's a watch, but it's not the biggest of watches. What are your thoughts, Craig?
Yeah, I think you're right. It is as you said, a kind of a soft watch. And when you think of soft watch, you think of a limp penis, and like I said earlier, when it's limp, it's like pulling Taffy, and Taffy is the character in this episode. And while I enjoyed the certain aspects that they did with the plot of not the, like I said, the My Fair Lady, she's all that angle with Milhouse, I'm glad they didn't do that. And I was glad about Marge being on Homer's side and helping him out with his problems. It's nice that they're not Big Green. I don't know if there's so much rewatchability for this for me. Like I said, the funny gags were the beginning and the scissor gags, and we have that. Is it very is it up there with some of the greatest stuff ever? Especially the pandering with everything's coming at Milhouse. I'm a little cringe on that.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have the riz that it deserves. It's not Gat, whatever it is.
Gad, Josh Gad.
It's not Josh Gad. Although it seems like something Josh Gad would write. But yeah, so I think I'm not on the fence. I agree. I think after rewatching and talking with you, like I enjoyed aspects of it. It is a soft watch. I'm sorry, it's a pulling Taffy. If I gave this a ranking, of course, Homer is a barber in this episode, asking the good old internet, how many hairs does a person grow a day? And the average person can grow over 1,200 hairs per day. Even you, Steve, if you put your mind to it. So out of 1,200, I'll give this episode a 420. That being said, not awful, not great. It's there. And it seems like something I would watch on a plot for Rugrats, you know?
Exactly. Maybe an Our Real Monsters, where that one with the armpit hair who holds his eyeballs, maybe he becomes a barber or something.
Right. So I say we fourth the Sallys.
Indeed.
And see what we're watching next week. How about that?
I like it. And to do that, we'll need our good old friend who doesn't speak anymore because they are not allowed. The Wheel of Random. So let's give it a spin to see which season we're in. Ba-doop.
That was weird, Steve. You better hit that again.
All right.
Steve, what button are you hitting? Can you hit the Wheel of Random again?
Okay, I'll give it another time.
What? Are you sure you're hitting the random wheel?
I'm pretty sure I'm hitting the Wheel of Random. Let's see. Tab, Control, Shift, Any, Random.
See, I think something's wrong with the Wheel of Random.
Oh, no.
All right, Steve, I guess we're going to have to pull an audible this week.
Oh, man. I do like audiobooks, so I guess it'll be okay.
Steve, I noticed that the season premiere is coming up from this next week's episode dropping will be the season premiere. And I thought, what if we pull a season finale before a season premiere? And looking at our list here of episodes, Steve, we have only one episode left from season 11, and that is the season finale. That is, well, I don't want to spoil the title. Do you think you know what the title from season 11, episode 22 would be?
Well, this episode this week was Edward Scissorhands, so of course it would be another classic Johnny Depp film. And I would say Alice in Wonderland, which you can check out on our Patreon. That's patreon.com/annoyinggruntboys. But I'm going to say that it isn't that. And, well, I'm just going to reveal it. I know what it is. It's Behind the Music.
Oh, Steve, no, that's the parody. It's Behind the Laughter.
Oh, damn. So close.
So that means we can't quit this podcast.
Foiled yet again.
That's right. This is the episode, I think, more than a Lady Gaga episode, I think we've been looking forward to.
I think so, yeah. I think...
Okay. Took you a while to respond.
I was just thinking about how much I want that Lady Gaga episode. But no, I think that this one will be a lot of fun. I haven't seen it in a very long time.
Yes, quick synopsis is a profile of The Simpsons, like the old TV show Behind the Music from VH1, including how Willie Nelson reunited them after a breakup. It's weird that that's in the description. So, a mockumentary, apt for the 9th most popular movie this week. This is Spinal Tap 2. The end continues.
Yes.
Made $1 million, so Dr. Evil would be happy.
Exactly, and probably the studio isn't.
You know, a movie that's was very popular to the boomer generations who now don't go to movies.
Exactly.
Makes sense. I have yet to see Spinal Tap 2, but I guarantee you there will be a Patreon for it when it comes out on streaming.
Yes, because it does have a Simpsons alum.
That's right. Christopher Guest and
Michael McKean from that one Spinal Tap episode.
Yeah, exactly.
And nobody else.
Which is funny because in all the promotion for that movie, side tangent, they never mention that Spinal Tap reunion TV movie that they did. And, like, The Simpsons was part of the promotion for that album, Break Like the Wind. They never bring it up. It is sad. Maybe we could review that one too. But yeah, so this episode written by Tim Long, George Meyer, Mike Scully, and Matt Selman. Really? All those writers? Yeah. And hey, the director of this episode, Mark Kirkland. So we're having a Costco episode, a Kirkland episode, as I call them.
I like it.
I'm looking forward to this episode, and I know everyone else in the podcast world is looking forward to it as well.
Indeed.
And we'll be wrapping season 11 just like that. No more season 11, Steve. It's 12 and beyond after that.
It only took us 6 years and some change, but we finally got through one season. Just 31 more to go, and we'll be good.
All right. All right. Thanks again for listening, everybody. And hey, don't forget, please sign up for our Patreon, patreon.com/annoyedgrumpboys. We got our Eye Off Springfields over there. We've got movie review podcasts. It's just a lot of fun. I would love you all to join up, and just $5 a month, and the laughter will be had.
Indeed. And you can go behind the paywall to get that laughter that's behind our faces.
And don't forget to email us at 13simpsons@gmail.com and let us know everything you want to tell us.
And hey, if you're so kind, go to your favorite podcasting app, leave us 5 stars or the equivalent, but you don't need to write an actual review. Just tell us about your story of unrequited love and or hair loss.
And check us out on tpublic.com/annoyedgrumpboys for your TeePublic merch. I mean, not TeePublic merch. I do this every time, but your Annoyed Grump Boy merch.
That's right.
It'd be weird to be walking around with the shirt say TeePublic.
That should be kind of funny.
And especially if it was like a hoodie and not a tee or a hat. Anyways, for this week, I've been Annoyed Grump Boy Craig.
And I've been Annoyed Grunt Boy Steve.
And remember, if death can happen to a fish, it can happen to anyone.
I didn't do diddly, and I certainly did not do squat.
I'll teach you how to make love to your wife.